When Bullies slapped her in front of 200 students, everyone thought she'd break down, run away, or never show her face again, but what she did next not only silenced the entire school but also changed their lives forever. Before we dive into this unbelievable story of courage, revenge, and redemption, don't forget to subscribe for more powerful, emotional, and mind-twisting stories that remind us, strength doesn't always roar, it sometimes smiles through tears. The day it happened started like any other ordinary school morning. Amelia Parker, a quiet, straight-A student from a modest family, walked into Lincoln High clutching her worn-out books, her shy smile hidden behind her long brown hair. She wasn't the kind of girl people noticed, not because she lacked beauty or grace, but because she never sought attention. She had one goal: to graduate, earn a scholarship, and make her late mother proud. But the universe had other plans that day, plans that would push her beyond humiliation, test her courage, and awaken something inside her that no one expected. It was during the school's annual assembly, a day when all 200 students gathered in the gym for Student Appreciation Week. Ironically, it was supposed to celebrate kindness and unity, but for Amelia, it became the most humiliating day of her life. As she stood quietly near the back, 3 notorious bullies, Samantha, Brooke, and Jenna, decided they needed entertainment. Samantha, the ringleader, came from money and privilege, the kind of girl who ruled the school because everyone feared her father, the local mayor. Brooke and Jenna followed her like shadows, laughing at her every cruel word. "Hey, Parker," Samantha shouted across the gym, smirking as everyone turned to look. "Why don't you come up here and show everyone that loser smile of yours?" Amelia froze, her heart thudding. She shook her head and tried to back away, but the girls surrounded her. The principal was distracted, the teachers didn't notice, and the students formed a circle, their phones ready. "Come on, don't be shy," Brooke teased, grabbing Amelia's arm. And before she could react, Samantha slapped her, hard, across the face. The sound echoed through the gym like thunder. Gasps filled the air. Amelia stumbled, her eyes burning, but she didn't cry. Instead, she looked up, her hand trembling on her cheek, and met Samantha's mocking grin. Another slap came, then laughter. "You're pathetic," Jenna spat, pushing her. "You don't belong here." For a moment, time stopped. 200 students watched, some laughing, some recording, others just frozen. But Amelia smiled, a soft, strange, haunting smile that made even Samantha pause. "Are you done?" Amelia whispered. The crowd went silent. "Because this is going to be the last time you ever lay a hand on me." She turned and walked out, blood on her lip, dignity intact, but that was the moment her transformation began. That night, she didn't cry in her room. She opened her old laptop, connected to the internet, and started writing. Within hours, she created a blog called "The Girl Who Got Slapped." She uploaded the video, because yes, someone had posted it anonymously, and wrote her story beneath it. But instead of playing victim, she turned it into a manifesto against bullying, sharing how humiliation can either destroy you or forge you into something indestructible. The next morning, her post had gone viral. Millions of views, thousands of comments, messages from across the world, students, parents, teachers, thanking her for speaking up. News outlets called her the bravest girl on the internet. But what shocked everyone most was what she did next. She walked back into Lincoln High, head high, fearless. Reporters were outside, students whispered, the bullies hid behind their fake smiles. The principal called her in and tried to calm the media storm, but Amelia had already become bigger than the school's silence. She gave a speech in the gym, in front of those same 200 students. Her voice was steady. "You all saw what happened. Some of you laughed, some filmed, some did nothing. But now you all know, you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to stay silent. You can turn pain into power." The gym erupted in applause, except for the bullies who sat frozen, pale, humiliated. But Amelia wasn't done. She didn't want revenge, she wanted change. She started a student-led anti-bullying program called Rise, inviting even her bullies to join. At first, they mocked her, but when the school district recognized her movement, awarded her for leadership, and media outlets invited her for interviews, everything shifted. Samantha's father tried to cover up his daughter's involvement, but the truth had already spread. Eventually, Samantha herself broke down and apologized publicly, crying during a school assembly where she admitted she had bullied out of jealousy. Amelia forgave her, but not before saying something that would echo in that gym for years. the people who break you can also be the reason you rise higher. But only if you refuse to stay broken. Months passed. Amelia was offered a full scholarship to a top university, her story featured in magazines and talk shows. She used her platform to advocate for mental health, anti-bullying laws, and kindness education. What no one knew, however, was that her quiet determination came from her mother's memory. Her mother had once been bullied too, and had taken her life years earlier when Amelia was a child. Amelia had promised herself that she'd make sure no one else suffered like her mom did. The slaps that day didn't just humiliate her, they awakened her purpose. But the story didn't end there. 1 year later, at her graduation, Samantha approached her again, this time with red eyes and a shaky voice. "My brother tried to take his life," she said. "Your foundation helped him. Thank you." Amelia smiled softly. "Then something good came out of all that pain," she said. The audience didn't know their full story, but when the two girls hugged on stage, the entire crowd stood in silent awe. The bullies who once made her cry were now part of her cause. Her blog became a global organization, Rise Beyond Hate, helping millions of bullied kids find their strength. Years later, Amelia became a psychologist and motivational speaker, traveling the world to share her story. How a slap meant to humiliate her became the spark that changed everything. But even then, she never forgot that moment in the gym. Whenever someone asked her, "What gave you the courage to forgive?" she'd simply smile and say, "Because hate is heavy, and I was never meant to carry it forever." Her words inspired countless lives, showing the world that sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't getting even, it's rising so high that those who tried to break you are forced to look up. So the next time someone tries to tear you down, remember Amelia Parker, the girl who got slapped in front of 200 students but stood taller than every one of them in the end. Collision. Subscribe for more life-changing stories like this, because every scar hides a story, and every story holds the power to inspire the world.